Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to crochet this very easy bow headband. So this is what we shall need: a ball of yarn. I'm using Seagull Chunky. I'll be using a 5.5mm hook, a yarn needle, a pair of scissors, and a tape measure, which is optional. To start off, we shall do a slip knot, and we are going to start making chains. For my headband, I chained 70 because that's how long I would want it to be to fit me. So you can make chains depending on how big the person's head is that's going to wear the headband, and you can try the chain on their head or measure it depending on their measurements. So I made 70 chains. Now I'm going to start off by making my first row. So we are going to work our row by working in the second chain from the hook. Inside the chain, you pull the yarn. You'll be having 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and pass through the 2 loops, making a single crochet. So we are going to repeat this on every stitch on the chain and make our first row of single crochets. As we approach the end of our row 1, make sure you've put a single crochet in every chain. Do not skip a chain. So after you've put your last single crochet, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. So for row 2, we are going to be working in the back loop of the chain. We shall do single crochets, but from the back loop of the chain. In doing so, this will give your headband a ribbed look. So we are now reaching the end of our second row. Make sure you're working in the back loop of each stitch and putting a single crochet. So when you input your last single crochet on that row, you will chain 1 and turn your work for row 3. So this is it's a 1 row repeat. You're going to keep repeating this for every row on your headband, and when you reach the end of each row, you'll be chaining 1, turning and continuing making single crochets in the back loop of your chain until you get the desired width of your headband. So after making your many rows, depending on your desired width, you're going to input your last single crochet. And for my case, I measured because I wanted to make 4 inches. So I measured to make sure I am on my 4-inch mark. Then I finished my headband by pulling a loop through my last stitch and cutting off enough thread, which I would use to sew my both together. So you pull through the yarn and fasten it so that it does not open up. The next step now is to put that yarn that you've cut off into your yarn needle, because now it's time for us to fasten and to sew our headband together. So our headband, you will notice that both sides are identical, so you can choose any side because either side looks the same. And we are going to sew those 2 ends together. As we come to the end of our stitching, you have to make sure that your stitches are tight enough so that they do not open up later on. You can now turn your work to the right side to see how your stitches have come along. So the next part now is going to be making the place where we're going to put our bow. So from the place where we stitched, where we joined our headband together, we are going to fold our headband in together like this. And then we shall stitch using our yarn needle along the middle part. You're going to pass through multiple times so that it is tight and doesn't open up later on. We are now going to turn our work inside out and repeat the same process. So after you fastened your stitches, we are going to cut off the excess yarn. So now it's time for us to make the middle piece. So for the middle piece, you're going to chain 15. And then we shall work a single crochet in every chain on the chain, just like the headband. We shall work a single crochet in every chain. And when you reach the end of the row, you will chain 1 and turn your work and repeat. Do not forget to work in your back loop of your chain. So I made a total of 4 rows, and then I fastened off my piece and cut the yarn long enough for me to sew it onto the headband. So we shall work on the wrong side of the headband. And we shall now stitch our piece together. Make sure it is fitting properly. As we come to our last stitches, you have to make sure that you tighten them very tightly so that they do not open up, and then you cut off the excess yarn. You can now turn your work to the right side, and yeah, that's it. A very beautiful bow headband.